Okay. They say they want receipts. You want some receipts? Let's go. No hesitation, no time wasted. Landmass. The name of a people must connect them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. Reference. Dr. John Henrik Clarke. Y'all know that guy, right? The one that they try to paint as a so-called black scholar. He wasn't talking like that. He said, the name of a people must connect them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. Check out this exotic map of North America. Y'all said y'all want answers. Y'all said, I ain't believing none of that Moorish stuff until I start seeing some receipts that really mean something that we could do something with right now. Here you go right here. This entire beam out is for you. Listen, check it out. This continent upon which we stand has such as the primitive peoples who inhabit the many territories have and had many names. Amexem, Maghrib al-Aska, meaning, quote, the most extreme west. Turtle Island, El Maru, Morocco, the Garden of Eden, the Promised Land, the Holy Lands, Yisraelim, Yisrael. So all y'all out there that keep continuing with the narratives that somebody told you your whole entire life, you need to reconsider your position. Facts. You really need to start reconsidering your position. Your identity is at a crisis. The remedy is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Actual information that you can use today, that you can share with somebody else and spread that electricity today. All right. So you see these names right here? We've been mentally colonized. Our people who continue to think that they're Indian, so-called black people, Pan-Africans, African Americans. The remedy is knowledge and exercising the knowledge. That's the remedy. Not your beliefs. I don't care how mad you get. That ain't going to affect nothing. You might tear something up, but you ain't going to get to the bottom of what's the problem. The name of this book is called The Torch. You could get this book right here. Hold up. I'm going to show it to you right now. Get this book right here at khalifamedia.com. Now, y'all said that y'all said y'all want solutions. Y'all said y'all want answers. Y'all said, why should we take, I see the comments. I see the DMs. Y'all said y'all want evidence and receipts on what this Moorish stuff gonna do. The Moors sold us out. And the Moors is the ones that got us where we at right now. All that's cap. You say you want answers. The first thing you got to do is be willing to listen, to comprehend. If you come into this with your mind already on, well, I know what I know already, and I heard something before, and the Moors the ones that sold us out. They got your brain in the cobra clutch. They got you in a headlock. They got you right where they want you at. A slave, a mentally colonized slave. Check this out, though. I ain't just going to talk to you. I'm going to talk and show receipts. Check it out. Now, you see this map, right? See the map? Now, look at this. I want you to look at some of these names that's on this old map. This is an old map. See the names on here? Denmark, Morocco. See Morocco right there? We've been told that Morocco is on the other side of the world. Morocco used to be right here by Indiana. That was the Morocco that's over here. So when they talk about, well, where's all the Moorish stuff? If you in North, Central, South, and all the adjoining islands of the Americas, you're in the Moroccan kingdom. You're in the Moroccan Empire. You're here. You're already at the most extreme west. Check the names out. Because we've been told that we think that America is just one name. America had many names. See the names? Turtle Island, Maru, Morocco, the Garden of Eden. Fam, we are living in the Garden of Eden right now. If you in North America, Central America, the Caribbean, if you over here and you in the islands, you in the Garden of Eden already. You're in the Promised Land. You're in the Holy Lands. You're already in Yisrael. Stop trying to go to Israel thinking that it's over there. You already in Israel. So all y'all Hebrew Israelites that's out there, you've been colonized. You've been sent off. You are exactly where they want you to be at, because you keep thinking that you need to leave the promised land, the Americas, the Holy Land. The Holy Land is here. That's why everybody from around the world want to come here. Why do you think that? If America was so bogus, so bad, so terrible, so effed up, why does everybody from around the world want to come here to live and make that bread? Because this is the Holy Land. This is the Garden of Eden. Check these receipts out. Let's go. And you come right here and look at it. Look. As we stated earlier, in this manuscript, the whole world was fitted together as pieces of puzzles before the great cataclysms that eventually split the world into sections, whereby nations were continued. Look, when they talk about the world used to be connected, they talking about Pangea. Facts. The world did used to be connected before the great earthquakes, the great floods. North America, Central America, Africa, Eurasia, East Antarctica, and India. All this used to be connected. Look at it. Used to be able to walk from East Antarctica or India or Africa to America. South America, North America. See that? Now, when the earthquakes happened and the volcanoes blew up, things changed. The Atlantic Ocean was created. The Pacific Ocean. Over here, you had the land of Lemuria right there. That today is what you would say is the Hawaiian Islands. Easter Island and all that on the Hawaiian Islands over there in the Pacific Ocean. Over there, that's the land of Lemuria. It's just scattered around. Y'all said y'all wanted receipts, right? And one of the hottest subjects to talk about today is citizenship. Birthright citizenship. Y'all see what's going on, right? Check it out. One of the hottest topics to talk about today. Look at this. You keep thinking because of the colonization, the narratives that they keep painting, because they got control of the media, the TV. Palestine is over here. Athens, England, Sudan, Cuba, Moab, Florence, Dublin, Ontario, all that's in North America. You see this? Valparaiso. You know how big Florida used to be? Florida used to be not just right here. Florida used to be from here all the way up here, damn near to Kentucky. And look at the names over here. You got Turkey over here, Atlantis over here, Sweden over here. Mexico was up here. Yo! And you thinking that so-called Mexicans are not Americans. You think Cubans are not Americans. Fam, you got to break the colonization. You gotta break the colonization, G. The universal solution and remedy for what's going on now is nationalization. That's the universal remedy, Morse. Nationalization. Why is that? Because being a national comes by way of a nationality, which is the quality or character which arises from the act of a being belonging to a nation or state. Nationality determines the political status with reference to allegiance, while domicile determines civil status. This is Black Law Dictionary 4th edition. We ain't playing no games. All right. We got receipts on receipts on receipts. We ain't playing no games. Share this beam out. Because they talk about they want receipts. Now, when you see the receipt, you get the receipt. What you going to do with the receipt? You going to sit on it? You going to say, oh, that's interesting. You know, that's some conversation we could have, you know what I'm saying, while we sipping on coffee or we chilling out and whatnot. We smoking something. We cooling. We vibing. We could just talk about it. What you going to do about it? Because contrary to what people out here thinking, status is the first issue at law. Nah, you know, so-called black people, they don't want to deal with law. They think it's rigged. Well, the whole time, the game that they playing, being a subject to the USA corporation, that's the rigged system. You in a rigged system by voluntary consent. How? Because you keep continuing to voluntarily say that you an Indian. You a black person. You a Pan-African. You an African-American. Out your own mouth. It's out your... See, the thing is, everything works off a contract. A handshake, a physical contract, or it work off a verbal contract. And as much as people be out here talking about energy and vibrations, and they talk about frequency, every sound, word that comes out your mouth is connected to energy, frequency, and vibration. So what's so wild about people that talk about energy, frequency, and vibration, they don't get it that every word that you say is attached to something positive or negative. So when you say out your mouth that you're a so-called black person, right? You think that you saying that you're uplifting something. But in reality, when it comes to universal law, you breaking universal law. You're destroying yourself. But you're not doing it in a way that you have been programmed to think that is happening. You're destroying yourself because the words that come out your mouth are attached. The universe and everything on this planet is connected, believe it or not. So when you out your mouth say that you're a Latino, you're a Hispanic, you're a Indian, you're a black person, you're an African American, what you're doing is you're saying to Allah, the creator of everything, you saying that, look, I'm me and I'm gonna call myself whatever I want to. But then you get mad when you get mistreated by every other nation on the planet. Because every nation on the planet, they have a national flag. They have a nationality. They got a national land. They got a national people, right? A national people, nationality, nation. The root word of nationality is what nation do you belong to? There is no African American nation. There's no Pan-African nation. There's no Islam nation. Nation of Islam. There's no Indian nation. It's none of that. See, it's coming down to the boiling point right now where you're going to have to make a decision. It's coming down to the boiling point. Look, let's go back to the literature so you can see it yourself. We ain't playing no games. Share this beam out. You said you want answers, right? This is what you said you wanted. Look, status is the legal standing of a man in accordance with their national allegiance and creed. It is the first rule in law, and it sets the stage for jurisdiction, which is the basis for either prosecution or dismissal. That's adjudication. Y'all said y'all want answers. Y'all said, Kush, man, show me what it is. Show me the books. Show me where it say that we need a nationality. Show me why that shit even matter. Why can't I just say that I'm a black man? Why can't I just say I'm a black woman? Why can't I just say I'm an Indian? Because you're violating the status. This is why. When you say, well, I'm just gonna be Aboriginal and indigenous. That's not a nation. That's not a nationality. You're violating universal law. This is what you violate. You're not violating just the law of man. You're violating universal law. Because Allah did not make people to be crayon colors. Allah made us in the likeness and the image of himself. So why continue to violate universal law? We're not talking about man law. We're talking about universal law, boys. We're not talking about man's law, because I see the comments. I ain't gonna lie. I see the comments. And sometimes I be looking at it like, you know what? It's that our people been so conditioned where they think that opinions supersede facts. That's the conditioning. The conditioning nowadays is, if I got an opinion about something, it doesn't matter what the facts is. It's, I feel like I have an opinion and my opinion is valuable. So that alone supersedes the facts of universal law. It don't. It don't. It don't. It just don't. It don't make sense. Now let's go back to the real. Let's go back to the real literature. Peace, more. It just don't. Look, the Asiatics of Northwest America, who have been classified and branded as Negro, black, colored, African American, etc., have essentially been stripped. You've been stripped, fam, of your nationality, which has removed them from the mound of nations. In other words, the human family. Hence, they are subject to abuse and mistreatment. Let me ask y'all a question. We just talking. We just talking right now. We just talking, right? So let me ask y'all a question. I just want you just to use your common sense. Use your God-given common sense. We just talking. Now, when you look at the statistics of incarcerations, let's say in North America. Just say in North America. We just talking about North America, right? How many of us, our people, do we see behind the wall? How many of us? We just talking. How many of us do you see behind the wall, whether in prison, whether they're in the county, whether they're in juvie, wherever they at, whether they on house arrest, whether they're in an Audi home, wherever they at? How many of us? The numbers are staggering. You know why the numbers are staggering? Because nationality is not being utilized. It's not being utilized. So since it's not being utilized, you have a corrupt system. The corrupt system tells us and brands us as black, Negro, colored, African American, Indian, Israelite. All of those are brands. I can prove it to you right now. Just look at our people that are incarcerated. Now keep in mind, the hot topic right now is birthright citizenship, right? That's the hot topic, right? So you say, why is it so complicated to nationalize? That's a great question. Answer, it's not complicated to nationalize. Nationality and nationalization start with your mind. It don't start on a piece of paper. What came first? People or paper? We came first. It's not complicated at all. That's a great question, though. So you don't need to fill out a piece of paper to declare your nationality. Noble Drew Ali said, if you don't do anything else, declare a nationality. Period. That means out your mouth, you say to the world, I'm a Moorish American. Period. Once you say that, you automatically telling the world what you are. And you also telling the world what you ain't. You're not black. You can never be black. You can never be an adjective. You can never be black. You can never be brown. Yes, your description might be copper, brown, tawny, swarthy, but you can never be that because those are not bloodlines. Bing bong. They not bloodlines. You can never be a Latino because there is no Latino land. Remember, look, remember, all nations, right? All nations have a standard which is established by their foremothers and fathers of the land by which they operate and maintain. The so-called black man and or black woman has been conditioned both by other Asiatics, that means by other sellouts that look like us, but they're sellouts, as well as Europeans, talking about pale-faced people, hybrids, to exist in a perpetual cycle of inactivity, masked as progress, yet the manifest of such a dead culture which is false and fictitious in origin is all around them, and a proverbial laughingstock to all who know the true meaning of civics and how it functions. A whole lot of marching, praying, organizations, a ton of finance, right? Only to see that the conditions get worse and worse and worse every year. Because of pride, selfishness, voluntary ignorance of truth. See that? You know, one thing that really stings is I had to come to grips with it myself. You can't save everybody. But in the same token, it's one thing to not know, but it's another thing to know and just be willfully ignorant to activate what you know. Dang. It's one thing to not know. Yeah. You don't know. I don't know a whole lot of shit. Real shit. I'm ignorant to a lot of shit. But if I'm ignorant to it, I'm going to do my best to research to find out about it before I open my mouth up and start just running and gunning with something that I feel or I think. And that's what hurts our people and plagues our community. The attachment to how you feel. There's nothing wrong with having feelings. Feelings are good. But you should never let your feelings supersede logic and reasoning. Intelligence. That's what they call emotional intelligence. People love saying, I'm emotionally available. I'm emotionally intelligent. Are you sure? You sure you're emotionally intelligent? Because if I told you, don't call me a black man because I got a nationality, I'm a Moorish American, why don't you have enough emotional control to say, all right, I respect that. I respect that, Kush. I'm not going to address you as a black man no more. You see? But see, a lot of our people who are attached to emotionalism, they say, what you mean you ain't black? What you mean you ain't an Indian? What you mean? I am, so why ain't you? Like what you is affect me. How you sound? Like, how you sound saying what you identify with is what I gotta identify with. No, sir. That's what we talking about as far as remedy. Remedy. The remedy is universal nationalization. Once again, hold up. Once again, we go right here. The universal remedy, nationalization. Look, just to make it a little bit clearer, because y'all might be thinking like, nah, Kush, it can't be like that. We wasn't never no Moors. Indians was just Indians. And that's all it was just Indians. Share this information out. Share this info out. Straight up. This ain't about Kush Day. This about us getting remedy. Remedy. Not just sitting around on lives talking, wasting time, wasting money, wasting years. Nah, this is actual remedy we could do today. Look, when these so-called Indians be out here yapping about, yeah, we was just Indians. Yeah, state government general provisions, chapter 1, jurisdiction and sovereignty. That's another buzzword floating around right now. Sovereignty. We not talking about sovereign citizens either. We talking about sovereignty, a ruler, a king of the land, a queen of the land. See that? Sovereignty. All right. All right. Look, what does it say about so-called Lenape Indian tribe of Delaware? Recognition. See, you said that you wanted remedy. You said you wanted some receipts about Moors and how the Moors wasn't the ones, or the Moors was doing what. All right, well, walk with me right here. Lenape Indian tribe of Delaware. All right, this is not a magic trick. Look, this is from their documents. This is from the U.S. corporation documents, right? Look, what does it say? The tribe can date their ancestral ties as far back as the early 1700s. The tribe was formerly known as the Moors. Oh my God. OMG. What you say? What you say? You said what you say? It's talking about the Lenape Indian tribe. You said you was a Lenape Indian, and you said that this was Turtle Island. It is Turtle Island. It's also Israel. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. It's also Israel. It's also the Holy Land. It's also Morocco. It's also Al Maghrib, Alaska. It's also a Mexam. It's also the Garden of Eden. One of the greatest tricks that the dark side, what they did with our people, is they tricked, conditioned, and propagandized our people to forget their identity. You have to remember. You know the remedy? The remedy nationalization starts when you start to remember who you are. You gotta remember. You gotta scrape off the layers and the years of them caking on amnesia, propaganda. They caked it on for years, for generations. That's why it's so difficult for a lot of people to shake it off. It's difficult for a lot of our people to shake off the amnesia because they got layers and generations caked on. It's caked on their head. But it's also in our DNA. See, it's in our DNA to wake up. I don't know if y'all looking, but the sun is getting hotter. It's increasing. The temperature's rising. Not only just in the physical form, but in the metaphysical form. The temperature is rising. It's increasing. You got people outside that's pale complexion. They coming outside burnt. They can't stand the sun. And you really gonna still believe the story of them over there that you think that they the so-called chosen people? Come on, fam. How can these people be out here in Chicago and wherever other territory you might be in right now? I'm talking about their skin is literally baking, cooked. And you think that there would be the chosen people? They can't even withstand the sun. So how could they be out here really as the chosen ones? Come on, boys. Come on. Shout out to all my Haitian people out there too. You see what we repping? Ça passe. You see what we repping? You know why I'm repping this? Because this is Moorish. The Moors are a worldwide people. North America, Central America, South America, and all of the islands. That includes Hawaii. And that also includes what you look at over there on the other side of the world. Europe, Asia, India, Africa. Moors are worldwide people. We not just over here. We worldwide. Back to the literature though. Look, it's Moorish everything. So you see me repping a Haitian bandana. You might see me rocking all kind of bandanas or flags or scarves or shamags. Why is that? Because this is who we are. Remember, they don't want us to remember. They want to keep us in an amnesia state, like black and color folk and we Indians and all this other stuff. Yeah. Ask y'all a question. How come the pale-skinned Europeans allegedly came over here as pilgrims, right? But after they came over here and was pilgrims, what's up now? They came over here as pilgrims, right? Well, how come they didn't take on the name Moor when they came over here and they got into so-called power? Why didn't the so-called pale-skinned pilgrims, when they got into some kind of political power, why didn't they take on the title Moor? Why didn't they take that name on? They didn't take Moor on, but they stole everything else. They stole the name Indian. So let me get this straight. You call yourself an Indian, but the pilgrims stole the name Indian and started calling themselves $5 Indians. Why would you still want to call yourself an Indian today? Or obviously, where it's smoke is fire. So if they took the name Indian, why wouldn't they take the name Moor? They could have stole that too. Why wouldn't pilgrims who stole, pillaged, raped, ravaged everything that they saw, if you want to go with that story, why didn't they steal the name Moor? like they did the name Indian. Think about it. Think about it. Because out of sight, out of mind. If they took the name Moor and called themselves Moor, not only would they be in universal violation of law, but they will also remind the Moors, the original Moors, us, copper complexion, olive complexion, tawny complexion, swarthy complexion, they would remind us on who we are. Don't that sound like out of sight, out of mind psychology? See? Don't that sound like they are the ones who are committing identity theft? Our people are in the amnesia state where we're committing identity fraud. We're claiming brand names that we not. That's what we doing. You see? They call themselves everything, but they didn't take the name Moor. They took the name Indian, though. That should tell you something. Why wouldn't they take on the name Moor, but they raped and pillaged and stole everything else? And they took Indian over. They ain't take on Moor, though. But all of the Moors, the movie roles, are played by so-called black people. Martin Lawrence, Lawrence Fishburne, Jamie Foxx, huh? Morgan Freeman, huh? Sidney Poitier, huh? Okay. They ain't take that name Moor on, but they took on $5 Indian, though. That was the finesse you. That was the finesse you up out your land. Because they told you, hey, look, you take on the name Indian, we're going to give you some benefits. You take on the name Indian, we're going to provide you with protection. If you take on this name Indian, we're going to give you everything that you need. They always come at you with a promise. Before you know it, you close your eyes, they hand you a Bible, and you're gone. They got your land. It worked like that all the time. See? Hold up. Let's go back to the lit, though. Look. Let's go back to the literature. Let's go back to the literature. So, the Lenape so-called Indian tribe, the tribe can date their ancestral ties as far back as the 1700s. The tribe was formerly known as the Moors, and for many decades of the 20th century, state documents such as driver licenses designated the tribe's race with an M. Is that a connection to the Moors again? Hold up. We're not done yet. Hold up. We're not done yet, though. The Smithsonian Institute issued an annual report in 1948 in which the tribe, referred to as the Moors of Kent County, Delaware, identified as a surviving Indian group of the eastern United States. What? Hold up. But nah, you don't want to pop out like this, though. Nah, you don't want to pop out like this. Nah, you thinking the Moors was the sellouts. The Moors sold everybody out. The Moors let the white people in. That's cap. That's to keep you in an amnesia mind state where you are a perpetual slave. Let me show you what I mean. You don't want to come back to yourself? This is an emblem of America. Who is that right there? I wish I had the color edition to this book. So you could see her beautiful copper tawny complexion. Where is she at? Where do you know right now there's palm trees? Do they got palm trees in Africa? Huh? Are there palm trees in Africa? Huh? Are there palm trees there? Guess what? When I went to Florida, I saw, that was the first time that I seen actual palm trees, like live, like in person. Seen them on TV, seen them out there in Cali, but I never actually seen a palm tree more. When I went to Florida and I seen that palm tree, and then I started looking at these pictures, what? Hold up. You got palm trees that are indigenous to the Americas. These palm trees are indigenous to the Americas. I'm talking about the Americas. See? They ain't indigenous to Africa. They're indigenous to America. And then you got palm trees all over here. See that? Palm tree. These are palm trees. This is America. Look. But see, nah, they don't want you talking about status. They want you talking about you a black man. You a black woman. Just stay black. Stay black, loud and proud and wrong. Just stay there. Just stay black, stay loud, stay proud and wrong. Because look, what does it say? When they talk about birthright citizenship, this is what they're talking about. This is the information that we missing. We need. Look, there are 4 classifications of status. Check it out. A national, the highest ranking member of a society. These are natural primitive inhabitants of the land. Is this you? If so, then declare your nationality. And guess what? The only people over here in these lands who can really be nationals is you and I. Pale-skinned Europeans, they cannot be nationals. Nobody who is not indigenous to these lands can be an actual American. You can't do it. It's a violation of law, universal law and man law. It's called jurisdiction. They can try as hard as they want to. They could go to Capitol Hill. They could say, we're going to cast a vote and we're going to claim to be an American. No, sir. They can never be American. See? This is why we so special. This is why. This is one of the reasons why we so special, and they want to keep the Moorish Americans, they want to keep us in an amnesia mind state. If you're in an amnesia mind state, you don't remember. That's number one. You don't have clarity of thought. And since you don't have clarity of thought, you thinking that you everything else. You pretty much playing a game that's rigged for you to lose. And you keep thinking it's racism. It's the color of my skin. It's not the color of your skin. It's not racism. It's you're in the wrong status. You're not in your proper status. Your proper status as a dark complexion, copper complexion, olive complexion, tawny complexion. Your status is everything. And it should be to win the game, Moorish American. If you don't claim Moorish American, you're playing a game that's rigged by the U.S. corporation to keep you in this position of losing and perpetual slavery. This is the position that they want you in. They want you listed as a subject. Damn. It says a subject. This is where subject citizens and corporations, U.SA, U.S. Union states, the state of, etc., rest. And corporate people rest there as well. Blacks, coloreds, Negroes, Spaniards, Latinos, Indians, you're subject to the U.S. corporation. Meaning you don't have human rights. You ain't got human rights. You ain't got natural rights. You have no political protection for yourself or your children. This is what we need to be talking about. I'm talking about everywhere. Because y'all said y'all want remedy. This is what y'all left in the comments. You said you want remedy. You said you want solutions. You said that the Moors is the ones that sold out. You keep going and believing what these people that never show y'all receipts. You know what's wild to me? What's wild to me is people are so quick to jump on a bandwagon of people that be talking. They got some traction that they paid for. It ain't organic. They got traction and they trick you out your position. And they tell you stuff, but they never back it up with no evidence. That's wild to me, though. Because somebody will tell you, well, you're a Pan-African. They never can pull a map out, and they can't show you nothing. They can't show you a map on the planet that verify anything they talking about. Nothing. And y'all run with that. I'm showing you a map right here in real time where you see right here. Look. You see an exotic map. I'll show you in real time though, on the block. One book on the block. See that? One book on the block, fam. Palestine, Paris. You know Paris used to be over here. England used to be over here. Toronto used to be over here. Trinidad used to be in North America. Cairo. What you thought? You thought Cairo was over there in Egypt, in Africa, right? Cairo is in America. Actually, in Illinois, there's a town called Cairo, Illinois. Fam. Listen, that's not an Indian name though. Yo, that's not an Indian name. That's a Moorish name. Even y'all so-called Indian names for y'all tribes, the original name for y'all so-called Indian tribes are Moorish names. Damn. Huh? Even y'all so-called tribes got Moorish names for your tribe. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Anawiya. When you say the word Anawiya, do that sound like anything that you thinking like, oh, that's an Indian name. Nah. Just like they look, I'm watching a movie yesterday that really brought out this beam. I'm watching this movie called The Karate Kid. What was it? The Karate Kid? With Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan. Hey, when he teaching Jaden Smith how to do kung fu and whatnot, right? This is what brought it out about this movie. I never paid attention until I seen this part right here. It's a scene, it's like in the middle of the movie where he telling Jaden Smith to put his jacket down, pick his jacket up, right? Tell him to keep doing that, right? Now, it's a scene where they get on the train. They get on the train, in the background, right? In the background, there's pyramids in the background. I say, oh my God. Yeah. It's pyramids in the background. Fam. YouTube it. The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, fam, and Jackie Chan. The pyramids are in the background. In the movie, they show giant pyramids, but this is what they do though. Do you know how many pyramids are indigenous to the Americas? There's more indigenous pyramids in the Americas than it is in Africa. So where you think you from? North, Central, South America, and all of the adjoining islands is the first land on this planet. This is why we can trace our lineage, our bloodline, all the way back before the counting of time. So when you go look at the word pyramid, you can see that the word pyramid in Egypt, the Egyptian, listen to this. The Egyptian language says that the word pyramid is M-E-R. That's how it's spelled. M-E-R. Now spell the word America. Yeah. What? Listen, man. In the Egyptian language, their word for pyramid is Mer. M-E-R. Now keep in mind, pyramids are indigenous to the Americas. So what does that show you? That shows you not only are the pyramids indigenous to the Americas, but it also shows you that the indigenous people are the ones who built it. And they named it pyramid, symbolizing the land, the Americas, is the land of Mer, the land of the Moors. Spell America without M-E-R. Do it. Yeah. Trying to do it. Look, matter of fact, I'm going to help you. Look. I'm gonna help you right now. Look, it say the word America. If you removed all the vowels, you'd be left. Hold up. It says you'd be left with MRCN. If you took the vowels out the word America, you will be left with MRCN, an abbreviation for Moroccan. Moroccan. See that? Moroccan and Murican. Oh my God. Fam. Our name as Moors is literally in the name America. It's in the name America. North, Central, South America has our name in the land. But we've been conditioned. We have been hitting the head, busting the head with so much propaganda and so much slander about who we was and who we are. We forgot. It's gonna take the remembrance. You have to remember. That's your nationality. That's the activation of nationalization. You have to start remembering who you are, where you came from, your foremothers, your forefathers. That's why our ancient foremothers and forefathers, they left so many statues. They left so many amulets, medallions, jewelry. They left pyramids, over 2,000 pyramids in the Americas. Because they knew we was gonna forget, fam. They knew we was gonna forget, gang. They knew. So look, this what you do. This what you do right here. This what you do. Look. You go to the Negro Law of South Carolina, 1848, chapter 1. You want another receipt? Okay, cool. You go here. Section 1. The Act of 1740, it says declares all Negroes. Listen up good. Get the wax out your ears. Use some Q-tips. Get the wax out your ears. Look. It declares all Negroes and Indians, free Indians in amity with this government, U.S. corporation, Negroes, mulattoes, and mestizos who are now free accepted to be slaves. OMG. You thought you was good? You thought you was cool? You thought you was straight claiming to be an Indian, huh? You thought you was good, huh? Nah. You ain't good. You're not good. You know what Tony Montana said. You're not good. You just know how to hide. You just know how to hide. You can't hide no more, though. It's over with. You can't hide no more. See? The Act of 1740 put a drill in you. See? See that? What it say? It said the offspring to follow the condition of the mother, and that such slaves are chattel's personnel. You see that? This is why on the birth certificate, what do they ask for? They ask for the mother's signature. Bing fucking bong. That's why they ask for the mother's signature. And they list the mother on the so-called birth certificate as an informant. This is why they do it, because they are putting the soul from the baby on a piece of paper, U.S. corporation, to create a fictional character. That is known as the straw man. This is how they're able to flip it in real time. And at the speed that they doing it right now, it can't sustain itself because the entire planet is heating up. The UV rays are heating up. The false narratives are starting to be cooked. The false people who are perpetuating narratives that are false are starting to be cooked. It can't sustain itself no more because what goes around comes around. You can't keep people in perpetual slavery without something happening eventually, because Allah is going to restore balance. You can't keep people down but for so long. That's why the planet heating up like it's heating up. Don't you feel it? Don't you see it? It's getting hot outside. Super hot. Why is that? Because Allah is restoring balance. The natural order. The natural order. Ain't it crazy? Let me ask y'all something. Why do people believe somebody if they say, I hate you or I love you? Society got people programmed to trust and believe the person that tell you that they hate you versus the person that tell you that they love you. Like, you don't know me personally, right? Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. Now, if I told you that I love you, you got people that'll say, man, Kush don't love me. He don't even know me. How could he love me? He don't even know me. But if I told you on the flip side, I hate you, people will trust and believe that I hate them. Ain't it wild? It's wild though. People will hate you. They'll hate you before they love you. They'll trust somebody to tell them, I hate them. And you know what they'll tell them back? I hate you too. Damn. They'll tell you that they hate you too. But if I told you that I loved you, you wouldn't say, I love you too. More than likely, you would say, I don't believe you. You don't even know me. How could you love me and you don't know me? So my question is, why would you think somebody hates you? And then you tell them, I hate you too. You don't know them. Come on, Morris. Think about it. This is why love is the highest frequency. It's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 5 universal principles that's going to change and actually bring reparations. They out here talking about reparations. You got to have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice before you have reparations. You got to have that with self, though. So if I tell you that I love you, and on my actions, they show you after I tell you I love you, and even then, my actions should be showing you that I fuck with you, that I love you. My actions, not just my words. Somebody you don't even know from a can of paint tell you they hate you. You say, I hate you too. Wait, what you mean? What you mean? See? Love instead of hate, man. Love instead of hate. And I know, it's hard sometimes, because motherfuckers will push you. They'll try you. But that's when you start using your discernment and you seeing by how they moving that you like, all right, well, I see that this person really fuck with me. They really showing me love by their actions, not just their words. See, somebody tell you they hate you, maybe they just envious of how you glow. Your glow up so crazy, maybe they just envious and they see something in you that they don't see in themselves that they wish they had. You just got the courage to be like, I'm me. I'm me. I'm me. So I'm finna stay me. I'm finna glow up crazy. What's up, fam? Stay on that because you are the light. The light that you looking for this darkness in the world is right there in the one place you ain't looked at. It's in yourself. It's literally right here and right here. See? Right here and right here. You got everything that you need inside yourself. But they done tricked us to think like we need to go to a pastor. We need to go to a mosque. We need to go to a temple. Nah, not necessarily. You ain't got to go there. The answer's already inside you. You just got to go within. So look, how you know it's real? How do you know it's real? Look, what does it say? How do you know it's real? Let's go right here real quick. How do you know it's real? Arm, leg, arm, head. 5 points of the body. How do you know it's real? Don't you got 5 points on your body? Don't you handle these every day? Huh? The Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world? You look at these little things on them green pieces of paper every day. The trick is they decapitated the capstone, the eye of Allah. So you forgot who you was. Now you got to start remembering who you are. Islam. You got to start remembering who you are. Now, real quick, let me go right here. Where's that? Okay. On December 22nd, 2011, Rahm Emanuel, mayor of Chicago, Mecca, published a proclamation that affirmed that Moors are the Aboriginal and indigenous people of North America, South America, Central America, and the adjoining islands. Wait. What? The mayor of Chicago in 2011, Rahm Emanuel, he signed off on what? They was pissed off when he put this in motion, this proclamation in motion, stating that the Moors are the Aboriginal and indigenous people of North, South, Central America, and the adjoining islands. Huh? You see that? See? He published it. That means he made a formal declaration. Yeah, that horn was on time, right? Islam. See that? You see? So when you talk about the Constitution, what does it say right there? Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress shall be made by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. See? See that? So when he did that, he did his job. Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, said, I'm going to make the European tell the truth. He going to make the European tell the truth. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, hold up. By the way, where is that? By the way, for you see the record. Damn. For you see the record, there were 7 other cities that did the same thing that Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel did in 2011. 7 other cities did the same thing. They put out 7 proclamations. Omaha, Tacoma, Washington, Charlotte, North Carolina, Baltimore, Maryland, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Lynchburg, Virginia, Little Rock, Arkansas, Trenton, New Jersey, Tyler, Texas, Atlanta, GA. See that? They got a Noble Drew Ali Day. Huh? Noble Drew Ali Day? Huh? Did you know it was a Noble Drew Ali Day in Washington, D.C., 2011? Did you know it was a Noble Drew Ali Day in Philadelphia? Did you know that? That was 2001, Pennsylvania. See that? Did you know that? Shout out to Georgia. Shout out to all y'all around the world, man. Look, this is what's going on. See? This is what's going on. Wait a minute. Hold up. Just for y'all who be thinking that Moors not linked up with the Egyptians. Remember I showed y'all in this beam out that you got Egypt in America. Hold on, wait. Hold on. I don't want you to believe nothing. I don't want you to believe nothing. I'm going to just show you how Noble Drew Ali said, I took the covers off all the secret organizations. He took it off. Look, when they talk about Israel, this is what they really talking about. They talking about the spirit, the mind, balanced with El. God is a manifest of consciousness represented as El, which is the God within. You have to go within yourself. You're not going to find a remedy with black, Negro, colored, Indian, Pan-African. You're not going to find a remedy there because it ain't no remedy there. The only remedy is nationalization. The only remedy is to remember who you are as a Moorish American. That's the remedy. That's Israel. Hold up. Then, before I slide, all y'all out there talking about Hebrew Israelites, listen, Moor spelled this way, which is correct, M-A-U-R, is the high priest of Anu. It's a title. The Hebrew word for teacher is Moreh, which is the charge and obligation of all the sons of light. This is from the Hebrew and Chaldea dictionary. What? What you say? Yeah. Oh, God. Hey, listen, Moor. When you say that you a maroon, that ain't a nationality, though. I know what you mean, but you got to put it on record as Moorish American. Shout out to all the Jamaicans out there. Wagwan. So the beam out for the end. Share the beam out. Much love to all y'all out there. Islam.